Shelley Lynch. I'm the public affairs specialist for the FBI here in Charlotte. I'm going to go over for you the speakers in the order that we'll have for today. Maddox's father is here. We'll begin with Ian Rich, and he will take a few questions. So we will first have him speak, and then you can ask him some questions. Please be respectful of not yelling, not all at once. Maybe you guys even might want to have a little bit of a plan of what order type you want to go in. I know that's difficult, but he will answer questions as long as he feels comfortable. So the easier you make it on him, the more that he will be able to answer questions for you. So then we will excuse Mr. Rich, and we will move forward with a press conference with Gastonia Police Chief Robert Helton, ROBERT HELTON. Then we'll have Gastonia Fire Chief Phil Welch, PHILWELCH. And then Jason Kaplan, JASON KAPLAN. And he's the FBI Supervisory Special Agent. And then they will take a few questions as well. Apologize for being tardy today. We'll begin in just a moment.
My name is Ian Rich. I'm Max's father. Coming to plead for anybody with information. Please, please call the tip line. Let somebody know if you've seen anything, no matter how small the detail. Just please let them know. If you were there Saturday, please call the tip line so that the proper authorities can know how to get my son back safely. And I want to say thank you to all the law enforcement and the first responders, everyone out there searching. I appreciate everything you're doing. And I just want my little boy back. I said I would take some questions.
Ian, tell us, when he ran away, how far away was he from you?
He initially took off just a little ways, maybe 25, 30 feet from me, and then he went to a major sprint after that, and that's whenever I took off running after him. I was giving him just a little leeway, freedom. He likes playing outside. He enjoys the outdoors, so I just wanted him to have fun.
Did you go to Rankin Lake often?
Before you began to worry?
I started worrying once I got back and didn't see him anymore, and once I got to where the office is, you can see that there's the parking lot right there, and you can still go around the lake. So once I could not see him anymore, that's when I got scared.
Had y'all been there before?
Does he have a history of running away? Does he have a history of wandering off?
He usually runs, but he'll slow down or stop to give me a chance to go pick him up.
Are y'all from the Gastonia area? Did he go to Rankin Lake Park a lot?
That was our very first time I've ever gone there.
Ian, have you talked to Carrie at all? What have you guys been talking about as you guys try and work through this together?
Yes, we're trying to work through it together. We talk here and there, bits and pieces, trying to get it all together.
Who were you there with?
What exactly was going on between you and the other adult prior to him running off?
We were all walking together, and once he started off a little bit, we just stayed back walking, and I could see him, and main line of sight, no problem.
Ian, who was with you and what were they doing at the time as you were trying to get to Maddox?
It was a friend of mine.
And what were they doing at the time?
They were with me, walking right beside me. And once I started to go after him, I gave all the stuff in my pockets and ran after him.
Did they help you look for him as well?
Yes.
Ian, the timeline we got from the authorities yesterday was that it could have been as much as an hour before 911 was called.
Right.
Do you now wish you had called sooner?
Yes. I mean, my initial thought was we were searching. I had park staff helping the search too, so I felt like we could have found him, and there was no reason to call the police until that time period. Then it got scary.
What made you guys want to go to Rankin Lake Park that day? Why were you at the park that day?
We were just going. he likes going outside, so we go to different parks around here.
Ian, what would you tell people who might look at the story and say that it's tough for a 60-year-old boy to run that quickly? What would you say to somebody that might wonder how that's possible?
He likes running. I couldn't catch up with him. I feel guilt for letting him get so far ahead of me before I started running after
Ian,
him.
I understand you might have trouble running, is that right?
A little bit.
Can you explain that?
I have diabetes and I have neuropathy in my feet, so that causes a problem.
Ian,
what
was Maddox
has these
chasing after
last
a
few
jogger?
days been like for you?
Oh, it's torture. It's torture. I just want my little boy back home. I want to know he's safe. I want to give him a big hug as soon as I see him. I want to give him a big hug. And I just want to know he's safe.
If you can do anything from Saturday over again, what would you be
I would
doing?
never let him get a head start on me.
Was he in school? Is he from the area? Where did he live?
He was going to school in Concord.
Ian, was Maddox chasing after a jogger? We were hearing that he may have been trying to catch up with a jogger.
As the jogger passed by us, that made him just want to start running. That's when he started to run.
Ian, the people around you, how were they responding as you were trying to go after Maddox?
I just took off after him. Everything else is a blur to me
Do you know
about
if anybody
anybody.
attempted to help or?
No.
Why do you think? Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
Why do you think it's been so difficult to find him?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I thought he would have been found the first day. It makes me just nervous worrying about where he's at now.
You think he's fearless and he likes to play hide and seek, correct?
Yes.
He's playing serious hide and seek, so is this normal?
Not like this. He usually is not nowhere near this long.
With Maddox's personality, what do you think he's feeling right now out there all by himself for this long?
I don't even know. I'm so worried because it's just been so long. He hasn't had any food or drink since Saturday, so I'm worried about if he's resourceful enough to even make it on his own like that.
How?
Ian, you said he was about 25 feet ahead of you. When did you actually lose sight of him? And
Around on the other side of the lake.
And you know your son best. Do you think, with all this, that he would have come out if he was hiding?
It's hard to tell. I'm not really sure.
Is there anything in the search that you think may make him scared, like the helicopters or the drones?
I'm sure he's not used to all that noise. I'm sure.
While
You said a lot.
was running, at any point did he acknowledge you or acknowledge that you were trying to catch
Oh,
up?
several times he would look back at me and he laughed like he normally does. He
Did that not-
enjoys laughing at me, trying to catch up with me.
Did that not slow him down at all as he was acknowledging?
He would slow down a little and then pace himself back up.
So Ian, just so we can see that, you said as he got around the lake, is that going over towards the shooting range where he was going?
No, it was going back towards the office where the boat landing is.
So you guys were over towards that way, is that where you were? And he
Right.
was coming back towards the parking lot.
Right.
And Ian, just to understand, have you been distracted at any time and maybe let him out of your sight or something?
No.
Or you were looking at him the whole time?
Right.
What do you think happened? It just seems like
I'm
such a
not
mystery.
sure. I'm not sure.
Ian,
Have you shed a lot of tears since Saturday?
As a father, how would you explain the last few days?
It's been torture. I'm not eating, not sleeping. I'm just worried about getting my little boy back.
Have you shed a lot of tears?
A lot of tears.
It's day 5 now, and this is unusual. A lot of searches don't hit this mark.
Right.
What are you thinking right now?
I'm worried. I thought after the first night he would be found.
If you could say something to him that he might hear today, what would you say to your son?
I would say, Maddox, M-A-D-D-O-X, I love you, buddy.
It's been very hard for Mr. Ritch, so we thank you for being here.
Thank you.
This is coming close to the end of day 5, and as you heard Mr. Ritch say, we really need folks to call in. We talked about that yesterday, and I just want to thank all of the press again for your coverage and for all that's been put out there to help us find Maddox. But there were a lot of people at the park that day, as he mentioned, and we've had some call in. some of the specific ones we asked for yesterday, but there's still a lot of people that have not called in, and we really would like to talk to anybody who was at the Rankin Lake Park on Saturday. If you were out there at Rankin Lake Park on Saturday, please call us and let us talk to you. Even if you don't think you have anything to add, let us just talk to you and see what timeline you were out there and when you were out there and what you were doing or who you were with. And also encourage anyone else that you know that was out in the park that day to call. I know for a fact that there were some shelters rented out that day, and we're looking into who rented the shelters and who was there at different gatherings, and we're having to try to locate those folks. But this is very taxing and taking valuable time away from us trying to go down those lists and call those folks and find them. We just need people to call in, any visitor to call in. There's also a boat log there where if somebody fishes or rents a boat, you have to write your name down, and we're trying to find those folks. But again, none of those folks on that log have called us. We really need anybody that was at the park that day, any visitor, to call us and talk with us. Anybody that was there Saturday, to call and talk with us and let us know. Specifically, there was someone there Saturday in a white pickup truck. I think it was a crew cab truck, had running boards, loading a silver kayak out of the water. He had a camouflage hat on. So he was coming out of the water right around this time. We need to talk with him. So if you know who that is, or if you're that person, please call us and let us talk to you and find out what you saw that day and what was going on that day. So we really would encourage that. At this time, I'm going to turn this over to Chief Welch. We've added about 67 more investigators, agents, analysts, searchers to this process. We're up to about 330 people. We've had about 250 leads. We've really poured the resources into this because we want to find Maddox. We want to find him today. We want to find him right now. So if anybody can help, if anybody knows anything, or if you were at the park visiting that day, please call us and help us find Maddox. Chief Welch.
As Chief Helton said, we have many people searching now and on the investigative side. The support we've received from federal and from the state, local agencies has been tremendous. We've had large teams go out today, searching areas that we've been over in the days before and expanding our areas. You've seen the air assets today, fixed wings, search planes, helicopters again, drone teams again. We had one drone team that worked throughout the night. They started at 7 p.m. and left at 6 a.m. this morning. So we're working hard. Crews are on the water now, just as I left to come up here. They're beginning to enter the water again. And the lake is also being drained at this time. Yep.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to also reiterate one thing that the Chief mentioned about people calling us who were there. We're just interested to get an accounting for the people who are there, and we are not interested in anything else other than that. So there's some people who hesitate to get involved, I think, in some of the things that we've heard, and we'd like to really encourage people. So often the community wants to be involved, asks us what they can do to be involved, and in this case, we really want to get 100% accounting for the people who were at the park that entire day. So please do that. And if you took pictures or selfies or video, we ask that you preserve that, and we will look forward to talking with you, getting more information, and then also determining if that may be helpful. And it may not be helpful to us now, and we're not expecting that Maddox would appear in those photos, but it may have other information that will be valuable. And we will be, when they call, we will be providing information on how that photo evidence and video evidence of that day will get to us. Please remember that the tip line is 704-869-1075. I'm also going to say a few words in Spanish for the Spanish-speaking community. There have been some accounts that some some families that may have only spoken Spanish were at the park, and so I'd like to address some of the Spanish-speaking community here, and just generally so that they know that we need their help. Buenos días, me llamo Jason Kaplan, soy un agente especial del FBI. Queremos que ustedes, si estaban en el parque de Rankin Lake en ese día, el día sábado antes de esta semana anterior, queremos que llaman a ese número. La única cosa que nos interesa es que queremos saber la familia y la gente que estaba en ese parque ese día. Se supone que ustedes entienden que estamos buscando para un niño de 6 años que se llama Maddox. Entendemos a veces que a la familia latina no quieren llamar a la policía pero solo quiero decir que en ese caso la única cosa que nos interesa es saber que ustedes estaban ahí y por si acaso ustedes vieron algo, queremos saber eso. Entonces, por favor, llama a ese número 704-869-1075. Muchas gracias. And the last thing I'd like to talk about is some of the search that occurred today. The FBI has brought specialized equipment, the USERT team, which is our underwater search evidence recovery team. The reason why we've invited them to join in the search is because the FBI dive team works very well and is currently going to be working with Charlotte Fire dive team, but they bring some special equipment that we're hopeful will help in searching underwater environments. And I'd also like to include the fact that the search that took place today was a little bit different. For those of you who noticed that there was a lot of FBI, a lot of SBI, and a lot of law enforcement personnel that were included in the search today that worked in conjunction with the searchers who have been searching for the past 5 days. And just specifically, I would say that the search that was conducted today is a little bit different than the search that's been conducted in the past, and that is that the search was an evidence grid search, which really focuses on not just finding somebody, a person of the size of a 6-year-old, but rather any small, minute piece of evidence that may have been left behind that we'll be able to collect and determine if that might help us in finding him. Thank you very much. We'll take a few questions.
What does this many days mean in a case for a missing child?
Well, I think it's very discouraging, of course, because every day that the hundreds of people who are working, they hope that when they get off shift and come back, or those of them who haven't worked a shift because they've been here the whole time, are just hoping that we end up finding them. I would just say that the encouraging thing is that the weather conditions have been somewhat favorable. Children are extremely resilient, and we have done an immense amount of collected an immense amount of information about individuals, about witnesses who saw things. Every day we learn something more, and I'm very proud of that, and I'm very happy about that, because it brings us a little bit closer. But we also realize the deficit of information that exists, and we really need the help of the community to let us know who was there on that day.
Jason, do you have any reason to doubt the father's story?
I would say that we've worked very hard with him and with Maddox's mom, and we feel very confident that a lot of the information that they provided to us is accurate, and it's helped us in a great deal in finding out where the last place we saw Maddox.
But there could be some information that's not accurate. Is that what you're saying?
For hearing from a photographer and a jogger, did you hear from them?
We are still looking for that jogger, a male jogger that was out there running around the track that day. We're still hoping to hear from anyone that was jogging around the track. We did hear from a photographer and the family, and so we really appreciated you pushing that out, and they did call in and we talked with them. But again, specifically, still looking for anyone who's jogging around the track that day, Saturday, and specifically to the person that was that had the truck pulling the kayak out of the water. We'd like to speak with them as well.
Did you say you also heard from the family that the photographer was taking pictures?
Some of those folks have called in.
Chief, how'd you come about that truck with the kayak? Is that something that was tipped off to you? Did somebody come up to you and say that they saw this? Is there a picture that you got that
we are receiving hundreds of tips right now, and it was just a tip that came in about somebody that was there that might know something. So that's what's wrong.
5 days of search is unheard of, and you have to ask the question after 5 days, seeing the amount of resources you poured into this area, how much longer?
You know, I'm not ready to say when yet. I want us to keep searching. I want us to keep doing everything that we can to find this job.
I'm sure you guys have a timeline.
There's a sense of a personal sense. How much frustration is there going on because it is the 5th day, getting ready to go into the 6th day? On a personal level, how much frustration is there?
You know, I have to say, among the searchers and the investigators and all the folks that are working, everybody is still eager to get here and find this child. And it's really been humbling for me to see that from folks visiting from all over the state and other states and coming in to help us. Just to see the energy and the eagerness to be here and to find Maddox, and I think that's what everybody's hope is.
Jason, is there a reason?
Why is this unidentified woman that we haven't talked about?
I don't want to speak to that at this time. Just
Last question.
Jason, is the reason to believe that?
Last question.
Ian has referred to her publicly as his friend. He just did. Others have speculated she was a girlfriend. What cooperation has she offered, and what was the nature of their relationship?
So far, the folks that are involved from the family are cooperating.
But is she a girlfriend?
I think we already, I think we hit that already.
We're concluding now. Thank you, everybody, for all that you're doing. It has just been fabulous to see the stories that are airing and in print and everything, and all the help.
Thank you all. We're going to continue as we have for the past few days, pushing out information from the Gastonia Police Department. We are posting photos of the search where you cannot access. We're posting those all over the Gastonia Facebook page. We're also putting those on the FBI Charlotte Twitter page. Please check those. Please use those. Please share those. And again, I know that this sounds like a broken record, but literally there were hundreds of people at the park on Saturday, and we have not